Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Lee Grant, and today I am testing out my theory on how to go about doing Leetcode and how to get better at Leetcode. I've been struggling with Leetcode for a very, very long time, over a year, and I've documented the entire process here on my YouTube channel from when I started all the way to now. And over the course of the year, I hadn't improved. I was still getting absolutely just like destroyed by those medium questions, and it was like causing me to become honestly pretty depressed. Like I started feeling that I was really stupid and that I couldn't do it. So I changed my strategy. Now what I'm doing is instead of trying to solve what I used to do is try to solve a lot of problems in like one section of Leetcode. So I would go to, I can make this smaller a little bit. I would go to Neatcode and then select like backtracking, right? I would select backtracking and do like one problem every single day, and I would attempt it, and then I wouldn't like fully. I would attempt the problem. I would try to do it for about 40 minutes. I would then get super depressed. I would then go look at the answer, and then I would say, okay, fine, let me see what's going on. I would look at the answer, be like, okay, okay, I think I understand what's going on. Okay, I see kind of how it's happening. All right. And then repeat the process the next day. Right? Just keep repeating the process the next day, the next day, the next day on different problems. And so I got like, whatever, like, I would do a ton of problems. I would use a ton of energy, but I didn't learn anything. And I wasn't improving. And I was thinking, like, what's going on? So about a month ago, I decided that I was going to change up my strategy. And that strategy now is okay, every week, I'm going to try to learn hardcore 4 problems. If I only get to 3 problems, that's fine. I'm going to go and I'm going to attempt a problem within, right now, for example, I'm doing sliding window. Okay. So I try a problem. If I can easily solve it, okay, whatever, go to the next one, right? Then once I find one that I'm like, I don't know how I can do it, bam, here's my target. Okay, so then I don't waste my time trying to do the problem. That's just going to bring down my morale. It's going to fry my brain, right? Because I'm spending so much energy and brain sugar on that question. No, I don't even try to do that. Straight to the answer. But I don't just look at the answer. I have a little notebook and I write down every observation that I make, everything that I can observe about this problem. And then I say, okay, now that I've seen one problem, let me go to another problem. So then I go to problem number 2, and I try to, again, write down every observation that I can make about it. Try to make every connection to the previous problem that I just studied. And then try to make those meta analysis of, okay, well, I just did 2 sliding window problems. What do these 2 questions have in common, right? And so, okay, take as many notes as possible, as many notes as possible, as many observations as possible, then go to try to solve it. Once I've seen the answer, I think I understand it, then go to try to solve it. Now, when you try to actually solve it, you're going to run into more issues, more problems. And this is the opportunity that I'm trying to use to be able to say, okay, well, where are my stumbling blocks? Again, write it down every time that I come into a situation where, bam, I can't solve it. Okay, well, why? Where am I stumbling? What fundamental misunderstanding am I having? So that's kind of my method. Now, I've done, so 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks ago, whatever, like a month ago, I started on 2 pointers and then was working on that. Then I moved to sliding window about 2 weeks ago, and I'm just living in this world right now. I'm going to get good at solving mediums. That's my standard. That's what I want. I want to be able to look at mediums and feel a little confident. Like I can solve mediums in just this topic, just these 2 topics. Then later, I'm going to go and expand it to other high value topics. And what I mean by high value topics is those topics that are really important in the Leetcoding pathway. So that's kind of the way that I changed, and the video that I just made, I was able to solve a medium. I understood it. I read the problem and I was like, oh, I think I know how to do it. And I did. And not only did I just know how to solve the question, I understood the concept. So I am feeling very optimistic right now. I am going to try to solve another one. So let's see if it is true. So I am going to, let's see, binary string with substring representing 1 through n. So never seen this problem before. We are going to try it out. Let me make the brightness a little bit higher. Okay, so other thing to note, by the way, is the video that I just posted. So today I got off of work. I had a full day of work, right? So my job is embedded systems. So I'm an embedded systems engineer. So then I did that full day, came home at whatever, kind of late. Then did that Leetcode problem pretty late at night, and I was still able to get it. So even though my brain was tired, I was still able to get it. Now I'm going to try it again. This time is at almost 1 a.m. So it'll be a little bit of a race against time because I also want to get to bed because I have to work tomorrow. But we're going to see. Just right now, it's, again, not focused on can I solve the problem. The question is, can I understand the question? Can I do the question? Can I get the right structure? And so now what I'm doing is in this video, I'm trying to say, okay, well, when can I leave this little world? I feel like I've gotten to the point that I kind of that I have a understanding of the concept. Now I need to look at the problems and see how many mediums can I actually solve. And if I stumble on a question, okay, well, that indicates that there's some fundamental misunderstanding I need to do. That's a new candidate for next week or next Sunday, right? Saturday or Sunday. And I'm going to go hardcore on that problem. I will understand that problem. So right now I'm kind of in my candidate selection phase. So anyways, what were we looking at? This one. So let's see if we can solve it. Let's see if we can understand it, see if we can do it, see if we can solve it. Okay. So 1016, binary string with substrings. So representing 1 through n. Given a binary string s, okay, so we have a string. Now, what is an observation? Strings are just character arrays. And what does sliding window work on? The data structure of an array. So we have an array right here. And a positive integer n. Okay. Return true if the binary representation of all integers in the range 1 through n are substrings of s, or false otherwise. Okay, so what is another keyword? Substring. So almost every single question that I have come into contact with in sliding window asks about a substring of an array or a subarray of a large array. Okay. That is our key. If we see that word like subarray or consecutive, right? What does consecutive mean? That's an array. Like that's the definition of an array is consecutive, uniform units of data. Okay, so if we see one of those keywords, bam, we know, hey, this is sliding window. And so these are what I mean, the observations is like, okay, well, when you do more problems, you're going to start to see the connection between those problems and see, okay, here's my cue that this problem might be sliding window because right now I click sliding window. So of course I know it's sliding window. But what if I didn't? How and what cues would I be looking for to tell me, hey, this is sliding window here, pay attention, do this technique. Okay. All right, so let's understand what the question is even asking. So given a binary string s and a positive integer n, return true if the binary representation of all integers in the range 1 through n are substrings of s. false otherwise. A substring is continuous sequence of characters in a string. Okay, so S is 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay, and N is 3. Now, how does that equal true? So given a binary string S, okay, and a positive integer 3, return true, okay, so we're returning true, so that means that the condition that they're about to tell us is accurate. If the binary representation of all integers in the range 1 through n are substrings of S. Okay, so n right now, just taking notes, is n equals 3, and 3 is 1, 1, right? So this is the binary representation of 3. You have 1 in the 2's place, 1 in the 1's place, okay? So now, representation of all the integers in range here, okay, which here it's just these two, are substrings of S. Okay, so I see a 2, 2 here. Now, this one is false, so let's see. N is equal to 4, and now what does 4 come out to be? It comes out to be 1, 0, 0, right? This is the 1's place, this is the 2's place, this is the 4's place. So now I need to find 1, 0, 0, okay, which doesn't exist in here. Okay, so the first thing is I need to find a way to take that n, or the n value, and make it into a binary. So I'm just going to run print, okay, so it turned yellow, which means that that's probably a keyword, binary of, I'm just going to say 3, okay, and then print binary of 4. I'm going to run this and see if it comes out to what we're expecting, okay? If that is, then we know that that's the correct syntax in Python. Okay, so binary 1, 1, binary 1, 0, 0. Awesome. Do I need to strip that B off, though? Because I need some way to actually, like, compare. So now I'm seeing how sliding window is going to be able to come into play. If I have these 3 right here, not the 0b, what I can do is I can find the length of that. Okay? I can find the length of this, and then I can go and have a window of that length, okay? I can have a window of that. I can have a dictionary, okay? I can have a dictionary. And then what I can do is add, or a set. I can have a set, okay? Which contains this right here, okay? Then what I can do is I can check, like, okay, is my window, and I'm going to have, let's see, for this one, n is 3, so I'm looking at this one, and my window is of size 2, so I'm going to have 2 elements here. And I'm going to say, is this window in my set? Yes or no? Okay, no, it's not. Is this window in my set? Yes, it is. Good. Then return true. And if we go all the way here and it's off, no, return false. Okay. So the question that I'm running into right now is like data types and stuff like that. So how do I actually want to represent these elements? I either need to, because I'm going to be comparing, right? Like this window as it's moving, is it equal to the other thing, right? Like, is this equal to this? So I'm comparing the two. So I need them to be the same data type. Now, I guess my question that I'm going to be asking is, okay, well, which data type is most convenient for doing the sliding window? Either I have an array, okay, and I take this value and I create an array of size 3, okay, and just put it in by most significant bit at index 0. So this 1 is going to be at index 0. This 0 is going to be at index 1. This 0 is going to be at index 2. So I put it into an array format. And then I would also need to kind of have an array and store this. I don't, yeah. Plus strings are not an easy thing to work with anyways. So, okay, this is a good example of I'm slightly stuck, but I'm not stuck on the concept, right? I'm fine with being stuck on, how can I do this, convert it to binary and compare the two, right? Like, okay, learn how to do it and then move on. The most important thing is for the past whatever, like, year that I've been doing Leetcode, I haven't found that I was improving on my conceptual, and that's what was freaking me out. So, okay. I'm of two minds right now. Like, first off, as I just said, I don't want to be spending a lot of time just thinking of like using my brain power to kind of solve those little things. I want to be using my brain to be doing the conceptual. So I'm thinking maybe I just like, okay, well, how do you do the binary conversions? But I also don't want to look at the answer. I kind of want to be able to write it. So I have that. So if I get this, okay, can I iterate over this? Like, var1 equals this. Can I go like for element in var1? Is it an iterable? I don't think it is. Print element. I think this is just going to give me an error saying it's not an iterable. Yeah. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, okay. Okay. So the answer is yes. But if I actually did change it into a... That's interesting, though, by the way, that I can iterate over a binary. But if I did change it into an array, now when I'm doing my sliding window, I'm going to have to shift over every element in that array. I don't want to do that. Now I've convinced myself out of this array idea, I'm going to use a string, which is a what? Character array. So, fine. What would happen? Let me just print this. str string of this. Let's see what goes on here. If this takes out that binary part, I'm good. Please, please, please. Okay, it's this one. That's not what I was. Did it even print anything? Hold on. Oh, no, it's this right here. Okay, let's I'm not gonna waste my time doing random things like that. So let's come here and let's ask on Copilot how to get rid of that 0b. So I'm gonna come here and just go like this. Copy here, and then say I want to be able to strip away the 0b at 0b11, for example, so that I can create a string of 11 and compare to my window. Only tell me how to get the binary value into this format. Do not give me any more code. Okay. Do not give. Okay, fine. Only that, please. Okay. Okay, here we go. That's. Let me do that. That is a very interesting way of doing things. Okay, so print. And what are we printing? We are printing binary of 4. Okay, but I'm slicing it, and I say 2, which means start at the second index, which this is 0th index, this is 1th index, this is 2th index. And remember, the 2 is inclusive. And then I can have this empty to mean all the way to the end. Okay. So that should give me my string. Is it a problem that there's a leading 0 right there, though? And I said binary 4. Oh, wait, hold on. The world is in order. Okay. 1, 0, 0. Okay, cool. We got it. We got it. Here we go. So we have our window. Let's kind of get rid of this. Before I get rid of it, let me we have in. Okay, so we want to be able to I'm going to say this is the thing that we want to match. So value is equal to this n. We want the binary representation of n. Okay. And then we want to be able to slice that at the second index all the way to the end. Okay, so this is how we get that binary representation. Awesome. Now we have the value. And we also have this string, okay, which is s. Now, I want to create a window of that length, right? Because I'm going to be creating a window to be able to slide over and try to compare. First, I'm going to add it to my set. So my set is equal, my set dot add value, okay? So I added that string to my set. Now I'm going to try to create a window of length, whatever this value is. So in this case, it would be 0, 1, 2, right? So actually means 3 elements. It would be 3 elements long. And then I would, like, I will have to perform that sliding window technique. I have a hair in my mouth. Okay. There we go. So let's do that. So I'm going to right equals left equals 0. So I'm creating my 2 pointers and then I'm going to create my window, right? So while right is less than length of value, okay? What do I want to do? I want to have a string, okay? My window is equal to an empty string. This. Okay. So now I first want to come here and add that value to my string, right? So my window dot, here's another thing. Okay, so I'm going to make notes that I'm not very good at manipulating strings in Python. How do you add it to the beginning? How do you add it to the end? For string manipulation, how do I add values to the end and to the beginning? I'm guessing it's something like slicing. I'm guessing I have to do slicing. Oh, I can do this plus. Adds to the end. Okay. I can do the plus to add to the end. I can also do this like join. What about removing from the start or end? Okay, so right now I'm noting, right, like this is how I do it. I look at the concept, right? Then I go to try to implement it, and then I realize, oh, I'm actually have some gaps in my knowledge on how to do X, Y, or Z. Right now I'm finding out I have some gaps in my knowledge on string manipulation. Okay, because I know that I can't just do it like a normal array. I know that I need to. Oops. Okay. Use slicing. Okay. Okay. So I want to add, so my window equals what? My window plus S indexed at right. And I'm going to be building it this way, right? So I'm going to add this one first. And then I'm going to increase my right plus equals 1. And then I'm going to add this one. So at the end, I'm going to have this plus this. And that should be my window, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to be able to slide that over. So I first need to check, like, if my window in my set return true. Okay. Now, while right is less than length of S, so I want to iterate all the way through S. Okay. What do I want to do? I want to, okay, let's create this S right here, or this let's create a little note. So S is going to be equal to, like this, and I'm going to have zero, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is like the element. And at first I have it like this, and then this is my left and right pointer right there. And then I come over here and I have my window like this. So I've added these two elements. My right is pointed at the index number 2, the 2th index, but I haven't added this element yet. So now I need to shift things over. So now how do I shift my window over? I need to get rid of this element at the first index of my S, of my window, right? So my window equals my window sliced at, what do I want? I want the first element to go away. So I want to start at the 1th index and go all the way to the end. Okay. Now what do I want to do? I want to add, so that does this right here. So it gets rid of this it gets rid of this element, but notice my left is still pointed at the 0th index. Okay. Now I want to take my right pointer and I want to move this over by 1. And notice this 1 is always going to be 1 because it means the first index at my current window. So my window is here. I just want to kick this element off, and it's always going to be at the first index, or the 0th index actually. The 1 means start at the 1 because it's inclusive. Okay. So now I want to add this element. So my window equals my window plus the element at the right, which is S indexed at right. So now this will come in here and say, nope, we have added you now. So now my window is 1 and 2. So now I want to check, is it in my set? So if, just copy this. If my window is in my set, then return true. Now what do we need to do? We need to move our left pointer over by 1, so that corresponds to going like this. Okay, and then I need to move my right pointer over by 1, which corresponds to that. Notice I have not included this 3 yet. It's not included in my window yet. This one is. Okay, so left plus equals 1, right plus equals 1. Okay. Then, if that while loop finishes, we know, hey, it didn't, we didn't find a window that was correct. Okay, so now I had a whole bunch of nonsense up here that I need to get rid of. So let me get rid of that. And then I'm going to run my code, see if it works. Again, I'm not focused on, oh, I have to get, okay. My set is not defined. My set equals set, okay. So my main point and purpose is, number one, like, figure out, am I able to understand the concept? Because previously I had not been able to understand the concept. And no matter how many problems I did, no matter how long I took, right? No matter how I spent a year trying to get better at Leetcode, I couldn't get, at the end of that year, I still could not do any mediums, right? Like it was so difficult. Sometimes I got lucky and I was able to get one medium or two mediums right here and there. But I wasn't improving, and I could feel that I wasn't improving because I didn't understand the concept. Now, look at this. And I just noticed that it said accepted. I'm going to press submit. If it works, I'm going to be ecstatic. I'm going to be so happy. No, it didn't. Okay, that's unfortunate. But like that's my point right now, is to try to figure out, like, okay, how do I understand the concept and how do I actually move forward? Okay, so it doesn't like this. Why? Return true. Let's see. I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna print my window and see what's going on. Okay, so submit that again and see what we find. Okay, so 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. I mean, I see it right there. And it's true. It should be true. That's expected false. 1 1 1 1. Okay, it's right there. Did I get 15 wrong? So what is 15? Okay, let's just print 15. Print binary of 15. Okay, we can just run this and see what it prints. Okay, so that's not true. Oh, here we go. 1 1 1 1. One, 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 one. Okay, here, 1 1 1 1. Did I miss something in the question? A substring is a continuous sequence of characters within a string. The range 1 through n and the only thing that I can think of is, let me translate this 3 into 3, like 3 units long. So 1 2 3. Does this appear in here? 0 1 1, 0, 1, 1. Yeah. Okay. 4 of 4. So like this. Does this appear? 0, 1. So no. So maybe that's what it means. Maybe it means I need to have the substring of length n. And so I pad it with zeros. Okay, that's kind of annoying. Just because, like, okay, I got the concept. It was just, I don't know. That one's kind of annoying. Let's try to figure out how we want to do that. What time is it? It's almost 1. Okay, again, kind of a race against time. What do I want to do? I want value here to be padded with zeros. So, for blank in range, and what do I want to do with it? I want the range should be, okay, so how many padding do I need? It's something minus the current length of value. So minus length of value. Okay. And I'm going to try to visualize this with comments in a second. Is in, right? So I want it to be in units long. Okay. So let's make a comment. So right now, it's like this. Okay. And in is 3. So this is 3. And this is 2. Because there's 2 elements here. Okay. This is my value. What I want to do is I want to iterate over 1 time. So this is 3 minus 2, which is 1. So it's going to go 0, go the 0th time, and then it's going to stop. Okay. Which is what I want. So now I want to do value. I don't think it's going to like that I'm reassigning. Hold on. Val length is equal to length of value. Okay. Val length. So now I want to change this value. I want to do value equals, and what do I want to do? I want to add a character of 0 at the beginning, okay, and then have the value. So what I'm going to do is I have this 0, 0, and this is actually characters at this point, okay? And then I want to say, okay, add a 0. So I just add a 0 right there. And then I come back and say, like, if I have more, let's say n was whatever, 4, right? Like down here, then I would need to add another 0, and it would be like that. Okay, so this way it's 1, 2, 3, 4 elements long. Okay. So now we come here, we add it to our set. Okay. And then we come down here and we find a window. And now, because value has changed, it's longer, this window should expand to be that. I do want to make a little catch and say, like, if in, so if s, let's say s was like 1 character long, okay? And let's say n is 1,000. Okay, can there be a substring? No, because there's no 1,000 characters in there. So what I want to do is I want to come here and I want to just where do I want to do this? So I know this length. So if n is larger than length of s, return false. Now, let's think about the equal sign. So let's say n is 1, okay? So now, length is how many elements it has. I think that should be okay. I'm going to press submit, see if we get the test cases right. If we don't, then I'm probably just going to, okay. Okay, so we didn't get this one right. I feel like I understood the concept. Like that's what I'm mainly concerned about. And notice how in my previous videos, this is actually the time that I would go and go to ChatGPT or go to the solutions, right, and look at what I did wrong. But my brain is too tired. Like, what value am I actually going to get from trying to study the answer right now? Not much. I will go and see if there was just one little, like, a typo thing. But if it's like a structural thing, or if there's some, what is wrong with this? I'm just gonna see, like, right now is actually not the time. I could end the video right now and just, okay, I'll look at it later, right? Okay, so incorrect binary padding. Okay, cool. So this means that I did this incorrectly. That's something that I need to look at tomorrow. So this is a good point for me to be like, hey, that you messed up here. Why? What did you do wrong? Analyze it, figure out how you made this mistake, figure out this indicates that there is a gap in my knowledge that I need to fill, right? Here it is. So I'm going to do this. Z fill, okay. Unnecessary set storage. Okay. There's plenty. There's plenty. So I need to go in. I'm not going to even look at it tonight. If my brain is too tired, I'm not going to absorb it. And that was one of the problems that I did last time, is my brain was too tired. This problem may be a candidate for one of the problems that I do over the weekend. I'm going to hardcore understand it and add this to my collection. Or if those are just kind of like syntactical stuff, just like this right here, like I didn't know how to manipulate the binaries. If it's like that, okay, fine. I'll just learn how to do that and then move on to the next question. The thing that I'm trying to mainly figure out is, did I understand the concept? Okay. So, off by one errors, if this right here is like an off by one error, it means I didn't understand the concept and I need to go back and I need to figure out how to understand off by one errors. That's actually a very serious thing if that's the case. So I need to investigate all this. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I am going to continue to post videos here where I am documenting my entire Leetcoding process from the very beginning, and I'm trying to articulate how I'm learning, all of the tips and tricks that I'm doing along the way, and document what's working, what's not working. So if that is something you would like to see, subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you join me along in this journey. I also do back-end software engineering projects, so like right here, where my focus is oh, I didn't close the server. I probably don't want that using up my hardware space. And let me stop this. There we go. Okay, so I do projects here. The main purpose of this is to understand those important concepts within software engineering, within back-end software engineering, not to create a useful project. This is not useful. It's also not impressive. That's not the point. The point is to practice and try to understand these concepts. So I do both of those videos. If either one of those are interesting to you, subscribe to this channel. That would be amazing. I would love to have you around. My name is Timothy Lee Grant. I will see you in the next video.